Hi, everyone. You're tuning in to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast, a space of epic positivity, radical self expression, and transformational growth. Join me in celebrating this beautiful thing we call life with even greater ease, flow, and authenticity. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast. I'm your host, Nikita, and welcome to season 2. Anyways, welcome, Kha, to the show. I'm very, very happy to have you on the podcast for your enlightened wisdom and everything that you have to share. I'd love to know, and I would love everyone else to know a little bit more of your backstory, how you got into it, and I'd also love to know more of your wisdom of what supports you on your lifelong learning and growth in general for how you just continue to shine as brightly as you do. Because I think everyone needs a little bit more Kha in their life.
Thank you.
So wherever you would love to start, but yeah, I'm very thankful to have you here.
Then I will say, like from my past, between 5 and 17, I've been super sick. I didn't go to school. I was taking 15 pills by day, 10 pills of morphine. Always going to the hospital. I did like 4 operations. Very problematic, like child experience, I will say. Then that was the beginning, and like doctors and I will say like the health system didn't know what to do with me, and they told me like you will probably like your life will probably like slowly go down until like there's no solution at all, something like that. Then I didn't want to accept that solution. I was thinking like it's not right, and like I can just heal myself if I find like, the right way to do it. Then, from my perspective, the only being who was really able to help me, to guide me through it, was Mother Earth, who, from my perspective, she just knew everything that was happening on Earth. And I started to pray Mother Earth, and she slowly guided me through healing. Then I stopped to take every pills. I stopped to do tests. I stopped like to see the doctor, and I just healed myself through the guidance of Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Then I try to find this balance where like I can be just myself and really use my experience to help people and be able to receive too. But yeah, that's where I came from. See, from the beginning. Yeah.
And it is a very, I'm assuming that it's been a longer journey than the Cliff Notes version you've just shared with us, but I'd like to backtrack a little bit and touch base with when the doctor said that you like they professionals in their field says we don't know what to do, we have no idea what's going on, we suspect that your life is going to slowly decline from here on out. And then you said, and you mentioned that there was a part of you that didn't accept that, that said, I'm going to heal myself. And the way you said it, you're like, I just stopped taking pills, I stopped doing tests, I just like started to heal myself. I'm assuming that there was more than just, I'm going to up and quit, that there was more to that. But I'd love for you to touch base a little bit more on how you decided to lean into that part of you that didn't make agreement with what professionals were saying, because everyone has their own advice and their own opinions based upon the knowledge and education, and many of us, I know I do sometimes, take doctors' opinions into high consideration because of their education. But for someone who is learning to tap into their own intuition, and you mentioned that you started to connect with Mother Earth, I would love for you to share more of that aspect of how you chose to lean into that and what made you decide that you were going to do it a different route. What shifted for you, and how did you connect with yourself and Mother Earth in a way that um, showed that there is far more healing and far more than maybe what doctors had told you was in store for you?
Yeah, like from the at the beginning, like it went like a little bit like kind of a nightmare when I was at the hospital. You know, like at the beginning, like doctor are telling me like, oh, we will heal you, we will find a solution. And after 5 years, after 10 years, they start to don't believe in themselves anymore, don't believe in you will heal. We were calling doctor, they was hiding, they didn't want a response. When they weren't seeing me, they was escaping to make sure they don't make contact with me.
Oh, okay.
And after when I was 17, I turned like not crippled, but like you know, people who are in wheelchair, like people who cannot work and things like that. In French, it's invalide, but in English, I don't remember exactly the word.
Maybe disabled, but
Disabled, yeah.
I don't know if that's an appropriate word, but we'll use that for right now.
Yeah, exactly. Then I were disabled for 2 years, and I really think about like, um, uh, I guess practicing my discernment, just remove the power they had on me, a lot of power actually. Then when I started to pray Mother Earth, I started to really connect with every species. I was talking to animals. I was talking to trees. I was talking to the wind. I was talking to bugs, to anything, you know. And at a point where I was like feeling like everything around me inside me, like every part of nature was connect inside me, and I was feeling that so deep, you know. Then I started to really connect with what uh, what was around me, and I started to understand how painful it was when I was not connect to those things. You know, it was a very long process, you know, like like Mother Earth, like at the beginning, what she told me is you will have to go through sickness from your forebody. Then yeah, you will have to face your sickness from your spiritual body, emotional body, mental body, and physical body. Then she slowly like guide me through those suffering where I had like to really face and to really like feel what was there and to find which connection will make me feel better in that circumstance, and was always like in nature. And through my experience and through like my learning, I started to understand that the best way sometimes to help people, it's to help nature. And by helping nature, you will provide for people. That's how I started to understand, you know. Then like slowly, like I healed myself through, I don't know, I did like so much strange thing, you know, like she asked me, I don't know, to wake up in the middle of the night, to go deep in the forest, to start a fire and to pray for the stars and things like that. Then I did like a lot of ritual that I didn't know how I was supposed to do it, but I was so emotionally involved in that was like really powerful. And every time I was doing something, like everyone around me was changing like drastically. By giving back to nature, nature was giving me back, and this energy was reflecting on others. And by healing myself, I was slowly healing others. That's it, you know. Like I really like connected like with everything I was able to connect, and I continue in that direction.
What
You
a
know,
beautiful journey that you're on. And there are a few things. Well, one, I honor you for your journey and for not only having strength in yourself. A word you used is discernment. And I noticed that you would bring it up when there were maybe outside forces, people or situations or experiences that would maybe be very like you would want to make agreement with them and how they're doing things and what they say is right. But something that you said is like I used discernment and I checked in with myself. I connected with Mother Earth to really lean into what feels good for me. How could I heal myself? Because there are people saying we're not sure, and they have beautiful education. There are people who go in to be doctors, to be healers, and that's what they want to do. They want to help, and there's a certain point when they stop and you begin. And there was something that you also mentioned is that in society that there may be this disconnection from our higher power, the one that breathes us, and maybe ourselves, where we don't have that connection anymore. And something you also mentioned is that when you started to connect with Mother Earth, you were given signs and signals and intuitive messages to help you go from taking 10, 15 pills a day,
Yeah, 15 pills a day.
15 pills a day to not taking anything, and going from being disabled or not being able to walk as well to now being up on 2 feet, and also being able to connect with the world around you. And something that came to mind when you said that some of your biggest healing came from when you started to connect not only with Mother Earth but with yourself, and these I like to call them intuitive messages, intuitive downloads, or just these gut feelings that feel just right. Like, this is the path I need to take. And you also said that there's um, 4 different quadrants: your mind, your body, emotions, and spirit that you had to connect to in order to overcome them. With being able to connect not only with yourself, with Mother Earth, to know that she has everything you need to live your best and brightest life. But we also have this divine connection that has food for our mind and body and spirit, that has nourishment to keep us connected in this flow. And so, something that I would love for you to touch base on, if you would love to share, is how do they come to you? Because you mentioned that there was moments in your life when she said, please go start a fire and pray for the stars. But at the same time, there was also messages like, you don't need these pills anymore. Maybe go this route. How does it come to you? I know for some of the people in my audience, they may not know how to connect. They may be in this mode of maybe getting these intuitive nudges of, I'm not actually feeling connected to myself. And with that, there might be pain. It might show up physically in mental illness or physical illness. And that disconnection can keep us from the health and vibrancy and well being that we are deserving of. That's actually part of our divine right of being human. And I find that the more connected I am to myself, Mother Earth, and this connection within me that's breathing me, I'm happier, I'm more energetic, my body releases things and takes things in a lot better. And when I'm disconnected, when I'm using things outside of me to try to fill this void or use whatever it is to fix something that I think is broken or out of alignment, I'm trying to use outside forces to do that. But when I'm connected, I find that everything just flows well, that I'm not in pain, that I'm emotionally very stable in whatever form that comes in, whether it means crying because I need a release, or I'm happy just because I'm happy, or anything. It just feels very peaceful. So, for those people who want to have this connection, who want to be able to touch base with Mother Earth in whatever way that feels right for them, how would you describe what it means to connect back with Mother Earth?
Okay. I will say at the beginning, like self-healing is a very important word in those, because like we don't like to ask ourselves for an answer. We like to ask other for an answer. And that is, from my perspective, like very, it's not working, like very often. You know, like when something happened to us, we try to find an answer around us, like why I got that. Oh, let's look on YouTube, let's look on Google, or let's find a doctor who know like which pills can make me feel good and things like that. And we didn't ask ourselves what's happening. You know, like from my perspective, like your body, like how it works. You know, you have when your body start to grow, it start by one cell that duplicate.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly the name of this cell in English, but like this cell duplicate until it make your own body. Then at the beginning, your body know exactly how to make your body. Then it know the solution. Then I think like the first thing is like start to understand that you have the power and others don't have the power.
Yeah.
That's a really hard one.
Very empowering.
Yeah, like after that, like I'm not telling you like start to build your own house because like you think like you can do it, but at the same time you can do it.
Yeah.
And like believing in yourself will make like a huge difference. Like we like from where I live, like we never learn to understand life like that. It's always like others tell you what to do, others like have solutions. Like if you want to like understand something, go see a professional. It will tell you what you know. And I will not say like it cannot give you good advice, but it cannot tell you what you want, and that's always come from you. And healing is a big part of that. Then like when I say like talk to Mother Earth, it start by inside you. Like your body is made of earth. And that's where your connection is.
So it starts inside with belief, you're saying, and then so to connect with Mother Earth and all of the wisdom and guidance starts from inside with this belief that you have the power. So for someone who doesn't actually believe they have the power, how do you build your faith? I'm going to take it on just a different route for a second, but how do you build faith in yourself that you actually can do this, that you are supported, that you can heal yourself? Because you're an example of this, from someone who 15 pills a day couldn't even walk, now upright, working and using tools of the earth and living an amazing life. But it didn't happen overnight. But was there a version of you that didn't believe you could do it to now the version who knows that you can do it? And what was the catalyst? And what helped you grow belief in yourself that you actually have everything you need right here?
I think like respect is a big word in that.
Respect.
Yeah, because if you don't respect yourself, you will probably ask for other to do
Okay.
it, you
How do
know?
you respect yourself?
Um, everything I will say,
Yeah.
like everything you do is important. That's a very like yeah, I feel like if you want to be conscious about everything, you have to put your conscience in everything. Like everything is important.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe like everything is important, you don't believe you are important either. Then if you really like want to take a leap of faith, like start to recognize how you can like take step by yourself and how it's always you doing something. Like it's I think like everyone have probably like a different way uh to connect, I will say. Me, I think like starting by my fear was a good one. If you scare a frog, it's probably because you need to connect with something that's a frog in
Oh,
it.
sure.
Then like removing this fear because it's an energy that's already inside you, like working on that will be very good.
So confronting it.
Yeah.
So starting to help build faith in yourself was being very vulnerable, it sounds like, and confronting your fears. Frogs, sure. Well, like, cause some people, yeah, totally are afraid of frogs, but it was facing the fear of frogs that helped you develop a respect for the amphibian world. And so something again that comes to mind is when you said that you had these messages, intuitive guidance from Mother Earth that said that you need to face the 4 different quadrants of yourself.
Yeah.
And so how you, if I'm hearing this correctly, how you started to build faith with yourself that you could actually do this, that you could and are healing yourself, was first being willing to face the uncomfortable fears of your mental, your spiritual, your physical, and your emotional wealth or health inside of you.
Yeah, I will say like at the beginning, like if you don't accept that everything is your own, you lose your power. Then, for example, like if you start to be like very angry about something, like in general, we will try to don't be angry. We don't want this emotion. We want to push it away, you know? But if you don't want this emotion, you don't accept your own power. This energy is yours. And if you don't want to be angry, use it differently. But that's your energy. And you cannot like just push it away.
Sure. Bye, anger.
Exactly.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Or never.
Yeah. Then there's two different things I will say, and it's the same like as putting your belief or your trust in others. You know, like if you're angry about a situation, it's easy to go see someone and just throw in your anger, you
Sure.
know? But this aggressivity, this anger, if you use it for your own, you have like a lot of power to take in a direction. Then it's to use what is uncomfortable or what you don't want to be to have in yourself, like facing it and bring it back to you because that's your it's your energy. Then I think like it different like that's more the emotional side, like when you are sad, sadness is there for a reason, you know, like from my perspective. And there's a movie I really liked about it. It's Inside Out.
I love Inside Out.
Inside Out, and like the person is crying, and when you cry is like a way to ask for help without asking,
True.
you know.
Yeah.
And that is something very powerful if you accept to use that energy in the proper way, you know, like let you cry.
Yeah.
And if you cry in public, that's way better, because like people, the right person who is connect with the sadness will come, and this will make the connection, you know. Then if you just put your sadness on the side, you will be uncomfortable, and everyone will be uncomfortable with you because they feel that sadness, and they cannot manage it, they cannot like go through it, because when you cry, you spread that energy around you, and people who have that energy will come back to you and use it for you, you know. Then it's the same for a little bit everything, you know, like the emotional level is like the way I see things to work in this world is if you can connect your four body at the same times, thing will happen. Then your mind will think about something. If you connect to an emotion that's feed this idea, it will work better. If you use a spiritual practice that make you unify with the world, your energy will flow, and after you can take action physically to
Love
make
that.
things happen.
Beautiful. And it happens very quickly as well. Like once you have more practice doing it, then it just becomes very natural, very like we're doing it all the time. We get an inspired idea, we feel good or bad or whatever about it, and then when we're in alignment with our higher power, does this feel right for me? Is this a step I should take? And then you take it. I also wanted to touch base when you said about crying, and how when like crying is very natural and it's a way to signal help without saying I need help, like, ah, and you're just like, can I help you? And I'm like, yes, please. But there was something that I thought about when you said that, is that we don't need to do it all on our own. There's a lot that's very empowering about knowing that we have everything within us to be able to do the thing, to heal ourselves emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. We have the power to be whole. Also knowing that we are already whole in and of itself, and we get to connect with that wholeness that's already here. I believe that very deeply, that there's nothing about us that is spiritually imperfect. We are already whole beings connected to a whole life. But when we emotionally, when we cry, when we release, when we tap into that very natural part of us that says, I need help, when we cry, that there's other forces connected to us that says, let me help you. And when we're receptive of that, like when I'm crying and I need that help, but I don't know how to ask for it, and I cry and you say, let me help you, you're part of that. And so touching back with people who would love to help live an even better life, who would love to know that they can heal themselves in whatever way feels right for them, that you don't have to do this, because I know that there's something that I was learning more deeply in the past, where I thought I had to do everything on my own, didn't ask for help, didn't think I needed it, and I had to do it all on my own. I had to put in the work myself. I didn't want to reach out to others because I thought the strength comes from being solo, independent, doing it on my own. But what you shared, and what I would love to touch base with others, is that it is our journey. We're all on an own individual path, but it doesn't mean we're not connected. And it doesn't mean that there aren't other people who have wisdom, who have um, resources, who don't have the ability to connect you with others to help us on our journey. And yes, it is our own empowered right to do it for ourselves. We can be the ones that take that action, but it doesn't mean we have to do it alone. Just like with this podcast, we're here to help others on their journey of their own self healing, whether it's a physical illness that's attached to maybe something internally that's being perpetuated, or maybe it's connecting back with their spirituality to help them connect with their faith, to ground them in their connectedness, that we are all in this together. I would love for you to share any other closing comments about how people can continue to touch base with this connection, because that's something that you're very knowledgeable about in your experience of Mother Earth specifically. And I'd love for you to share, so how can people start connecting with Mother Earth, and how can they simultaneously connect with themselves in order to help them on their healing journey, when maybe they don't live in a beautiful place like this where nature is all around us, from a standpoint of someone who's lived in a big city as well, in Montreal, or were you in Longueuil?
Yeah, longer, close
Longueuil.
to I live in Montreal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how would you recommend people start that divine connection to Mother Earth themselves, to help with that healing?
I feel like if you wanted to connect more with who you are, you have to go away from pollution.
Oh, okay.
And to when I say like pollution, the noise of the car is pollution, the lights that like block you to see the stars is pollution. There's a lot of things that disturb us and in a very deep way. And we kind of block ourselves from that to be able to continue to live. You know, like if you walk on the street and there's like a huge truck that just drives close to you, like everything will shake, you know,
Yeah.
and you feel that, and like your body will start to shake, you know, and this will disturb you like crazy. Like we are surrounded by pollution a lot. And I believe like if you want to really like connect with yourself, like find silence, find a place where you can like really like listen silence. And when I say listen silence is this space behind the sound, you know, like you have like always like this space where the sound is in it. And if you can listen this space, you will connect with a place that everything can happen, you know, and that's where you are, because like you can build everything. Then I will say like if you really want to connect, because like I feel I mean, like for me, like I really connect to the trees. You can connect with butterfly, or you can connect with God. You can connect with whatever, you know, and everyone is different. But if you really want to feel those connections, you have to like stay quiet, and you will connect with something. And after like go in it, if you go in this connection, you will like really find a way to understand more about yourself. And because this connection is already there, but there's so much pollution, we don't listen to it. Then like finding like sitting, be with yourself and try to don't make noise with your breathing, like don't speak at all, and really listen. Just listen the silence, and something will emerge from it.
So totally true. And I think that's a beautiful last thing to leave us off with is that there's so much to hear in the silence. And for anybody who maybe doesn't or hasn't started their own maybe silence practice, there is a lot to be learned when we choose not to fill our time with what I like to call busy work, because we have lives where we work, we have relationships, we take care of ourselves, maybe we go and we exercise, we have hobbies. There's a lot that we fill our day with. And when we choose to take time to ground ourselves away from pollution in the silence, we can, I think, more easily tap into that power that's always in us when we're choosing to listen. And when we're too busy with things outside of ourselves, we don't create that space to hear those messages. And so I appreciate the message and wisdom of literally just sitting still or even going for a walk. I know for myself, if I don't feel like sitting still, I'll go for a walk in nature. But I think that or also shower thoughts. I like to think about that as well. That a lot of my divine messages come sometimes when I'm just taking a shower because I'm not busying myself with things outside and just like really touching base with like cleaning myself. But either way, the listening and the stillness, I appreciate that reminder to that the best way to connect with yourself and connect with this power breathing you to help start your healing journey is to listen. And so thank you, Ka, for amazing wisdom. So beautiful. I know that you are also a coach and are beginning your practice and also have or are starting your YouTube channel. So for the people who would love to connect with you, who resonate with your energy, who want to connect with Mother Earth and learn how to talk with trees and to, because I know it's something you're very fluent in, not only in English and French, but with your language of the trees. Is there an ability for them to connect with you? And if so, where can they reach you?
I will say like just writing my name on YouTube, like really easy to find me. My principal subject, it will be called Conversation with a Tree.
Yeah.
And in those video, I'm just speaking with the tree and
Yeah.
I'm asking question and he answered to me. Then I think that will be like a really powerful way to connect with me.
Absolutely.
Then
And once you have that up, I'll even then for in the description box down below, you're gonna have all the ability to connect with Ka and be able to reach out and listen to the videos and beautiful messages that you have to share. So thank you, Ka.
thank you, Nikita.
I appreciate that. And so thank you guys all for tuning in today. I'm so looking forward to you guys and what you guys have in store for the rest of your day. If you have any questions or comments, then please feel free to chat it in or message me or anything else. And if you would love to have Ka back on the podcast, I know I would, then please make sure to let us know that. But until then, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. And I look forward to talking with you guys very soon. Thank you all for joining me today because it has been my absolute pleasure to be here with you. Make sure to give this podcast a 5-star review and share it with all your loved ones because it helps in creating even more awesome content. If you're interested in learning how to effortlessly create even more health, vitality, and time and money freedom, sign up for my free monthly vision workshop live over Zoom. Until then, I hope you all have a powerful day, and I look forward to chatting with you all real soon.